Hello, Farlanders. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. It is March 16th, 2025. Oops, I broke the top of my hidey hole and the torch, but that's fine. We're breaking out here in Farlands or Bust, securing the hidey hole and restoring the lampposts. Grabbing Wolfie and getting rid of some junk so we can continue west towards those, thems.
You're telling me I'm stuck here? With you?
Farlands?
No, I'm stuck here with you. Believe me, a far worse fate.
Juno, stop licking, please.
Thank you, Capybara Cosmonaut. She's finally gotten into her bed.
Do you have any idea what we're doing?
Now that you mention it, no.
Capybara Cosmonaut, thank you for 92 months in the subtub. And then Fan of TS3, 21.
So let me sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
And Jan Skelvick starting a hype train. All aboard. The world size, for those of you wondering on YouTube, nobody asks, but you're going to know, is where we left off the last streams, world size. But for a courtesy, 74,544.46 megabytes is the size of this world save that we've been walking west in for 14 years at Six Flags. Do I even need wool? Not really, but that's fine. I'll take it. I'll allow it. Oh boy, howdy! What a 24 hours we had. This old beanbag over here, Juno, got a UTI. Anybody who has had a dog has probably had to deal with those. This is maybe the third time she's gotten it. And yeah, this is perfect hype train conversation, isn't it? I had some accidents. Uh-oh, speaking of accidents, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. So I gotta keep an eye on her. Accidents and that whole related stuff. What are you doing up there, Wolfie? It's 0% of level 2 is the hype train. I think whatever just happened just made us perfectly 100% of level 1. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is,
Thanks for letting me sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
Ain't no hype train like a UTI hype train.
it's true. We noticed it yesterday morning. And the vet I have been taking to her is closed Saturdays and Sundays. And, there's like emergency vets, but those are like just $200 just to enter the room or enter the enter the building.
So it shouldn't be a total loss. I'm taking a bet. A bet? Yeah. Move over. Yeah. And I'll take a bet.
We can all take a bet. Thank you, Anonymous, for the 5-sub bath bomb.
Thanks for letting me sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
This hype train burns when exiting the station.
Too far. That's too far, Diet Dinger Jail. So yeah, anyway, I called maybe like 8 places around who were open on Saturdays. Finally found one. I was even looking at, there are like telehealth dog vets where you can just like do it over the internet, but then like you have to subscribe to those services, and then you also like they don't just write you a prescription, you have to get the prescription from their store. So I wouldn't even get like, because she's had this before.
At the next station, this train will stop on track 2.
They didn't like in the past she's had antibiotics and whatever prescribed, and they worked in clearing up the infection. So I just figured I would try to get the same thing. But anyway, long story short, went to a vet. They were very nice. Still very expensive. Regardless of whether or not they're a normal vet or an emergency vet. Yeah, it is a different antibiotic than a human would get. And like if there's an antibiotic and an anti-nausea, because the antibiotics make them. Although Juno's, knock on wood, not had a problem with this. Although, but yeah. Anyway, that was a whole kerfuffle yesterday. Brought her home. Really, she wouldn't eat her dinner. We gave her the pills, and just all last night while we were sitting and watching, she was just like agitated and walking in circles around the couch, probably in pain, and also starting to get zoned out from the medication. She had a couple more accidents, so we like, it was all, of course, raining outside too, so we had to like try to take her outside like once every hour or so whenever she would move. But then by the end of the night, she was just like so zoned out that it was like, I don't know, it's kind of scary. She was just like standing and wouldn't lay down in her beds, wouldn't get up on the couch with us. So I'm assuming laying down hurt. I really had to like practically guide her to get in bed. And then the girlfriend got up like at 6 a.m. this morning to let her out, and she had had another accident overnight on the carpet. But then like she took a couple seconds to wake up, which the girlfriend said was scary and not a fun way to start a Sunday. But she got up, she was slow and still had a couple accidents, like I said. And then I went down and gave her medication, tried to feed her. She wouldn't eat at all. How old is she? She's maybe, we don't know, as a rescue, but she's probably older than we think she is. 13 is our, like, median guess right now. So yeah, she's definitely older. She's already had kidney issues and lately the arthritis issues where she's on medication for it. Yeah, last night and this morning she was kind of in a bad way. But then I went out to get, because she wasn't eating like any of her food, I would like hand feed her some, or just like we'd be feeding just her treats just so she would eat something. So I went out and got some ground turkey and rice. So I just made that up plain and brought that down. She got excited for that. There was some tail wagging. We hadn't seen any wagging nubs. So she got excited for that and chomped that down. But still won't really touch her normal food. And yeah, she's back to licking her paws, and now she's in the bed next to the desk here. Didn't know dogs like rice. I mean, a lot of dog food has rice in it, just as a filler. You just don't know because it's brown nuggets, you know. Brown Nuggets was my nickname in college. Yeah, we're also
Side sleep in.
side sleeping, just like Juno. We're also like getting, the vet recommended getting like a culture, which is another expense, but I just to like see what infection it is, I guess. What am I trying to do here? Oh, nothing. So I guess in like 3 or 4 days, we're gonna find out what it is. Hopefully it's just the bog standard UTI. But just to make sure, I guess that's pretty good. Yeah, I was gonna get boiled chicken or just get like a chicken breast, and that's what I've done in the past. But the chicken breast was expensive. Excuse me, sir, there are some pigs behind you that we would like to procure. But yeah, all of this culminating, when it rains, it pours. The week before I start that fancy new part-time job. Which is another element of stress. It's like, oh, now I gotta leave her alone for 4 or 5 hours during the day. Which I'm already... So, like, yeah, this morning I had some anxiety. I still have it. My chesticles are weird. I mean, that was another thing last night. She was, like, shaking like she would during, like, a thunderstorm. Which I assume is just her, like, she's in pain and uncomfortable and scared. Which is just never good to see your dog go through. So yeah. A busy, an unfortunately busy weekend. Not in the way we would have preferred. That's for sure. Not in the way anybody would have preferred. But like, yeah, knock on wood, I don't want to speak too soon, but the last 2 hours or so since I came down and we fed her some of that turkey, she's seeming more herself. We haven't taken her on any walks just because she's still kind of just ambling around, but we walk around the yard a little bit, and her bathroom havings have been a little bit more normal. The old June bug. Ah. That's what the girlfriend said, is that these medicines usually work really quick. We got one more of the anti-nausea things to do tonight. I don't know if that's kind of what makes her feel sickly. And then it's just, I think, only 5 days of the antibiotics. Neat. Happy days. That stress is the worst. Yeah, and it's also also I'm doing my taxes and like seeing all the money and then more money. I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, my credit card bills were low kind of last month. I didn't spend that much money. That's nice. Womp womp, not for March. So yeah, you're kind of trapped between this point of like, God, I'd really not like to spend thousands and thousands of more dollars, but I'll do anything to make my dog not feel terrible. Ooh, doggy. Literally. Whoa, Wolfie. Oh, man, that was another thing, yeah. Our, well, like, all of our insurance did, but I'm sure for everybody, most everybody, our house insurance went up like 40%. Like, we asked for an explanation that are just across the board. Lumber, higher costs for rebuilding and lumber prices and inflation.
I tell you what, I'll give you 20. 20?
How uncharacteristically generous for a Ferengi.
For the juniest of bugs.
The juniest of bugs. Thank you, Diet Ginger Dale. Top tip of the day. A cool 20. Much appreciated. That does help. But that is another reason why this part-time job, no, it's very minimal. It'll hopefully be a little consistent amount to keep things a little bit predictable. 90 does spooky noises. Is there an expiration date on this job? No. It depends on if I like it. What is the new part-time job? It is with the girlfriend. Where she works needs spring seasonal help. And they did not get a lot of applicants. So it's basically just part-time helping her do
Thanks
what
for
she
letting me
do.
sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
Bits! Ain't nothing to it. So it's gonna be outdoorsy. Agricultural. Ooh. Oh, that's a tree right here. That's pretty neat. Does that mean when the season end works? No, well, it all depends. And it's all also dependent on their own funding as well.
You are fully dilated to 10 centimeters. You may now give birth.
Shaco? Is that pronounced Shaco? With the X? Thank you for 9 months sub, baby. In the sub tub. Much appreciated. Sub tub. Oh, where's my compass? But yeah, it's that. It's gonna be some heavy lifting and manual labor, but also oh, I'm going the wrong way. They need, like I mentioned, somebody to maintain some of their fleet of vehicles that they have for getting around. So yeah, it's exciting. Like I said, it's I don't know how easy it would be for me to just out of the blue to somewhere random apply for an interview for and try to get like a job. So this is like a best case scenario for me is that I know somebody. I know somebody very well. And like, yeah, if I really enjoy it and I find that I'm learning something or doing something that I enjoyed doing, then I'll keep at it. So yeah, I don't know what I'm still going to be streaming. Like I said, it's a part-time job, but it might take some adjusting. Not that I start my stream super early, but there might be some light schedule tweaking. Will you reach the Farlands before GTA 6 comes out? I'll reach the Farlands before GTA 6 comes out on PC. It's not coming out on PC, is it? Like, at first, it's just consoles, right? Probably. I don't know. I haven't been drinking my tea. Alright. Tea break. Let's go. Indubitably. But yeah, it's not, I mean, it's nice. Like I said, it'll be nice to have a little bit of consistent money from the job, but it's more about like trying out new things, getting out of what potentially may be construed as a funk. Spending more time with the girlfriend. and helping her out with what she's doing. Bloop, 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 bloop. So that is where those...
Thanks for letting me sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
I got a gig with the city raking leaves and trimming bushes. It's a part-time job.
Part-time job? I get it. Who are you, weatherman? Oh, jokes. I get jokes. Hello, Wolfie. Oop. Indeed. Indeed. So yeah, I didn't sleep well. Got a little bit of a headache. It's fine. Farlands are bust. These hitboxes are wild. That's a good demonstration here in the water. Oh, okay, I'm down here now. No! We get it. Ooh, ooh. Oh. I love a tunnel passage. Wolfie doesn't. Wolfie, come over here. I need to give you the tweets. Full health. It is the last week for my Factor sponsorship. In case you wanted to take it. Somebody else did. Thank you, whoever else did. I didn't expect to get any additional ones, so I figured I'd message it. Message it? I'd mention it. Factor. There we go. Thank you, Hummus Fraud. Really will help with the vet bills. And then you get food too. But if not, that's also okay. I already did my 2 sponsored streams. I'm no longer contractually obligated. Whoa. Huh. I guess I just gotta... oh god. We already talked about Juno. But we're not gonna... Repetitiones. Blanc. She seems to be doing fine now. Thank you for your concern. That is repetitiones. What's new with everybody else? Everybody's staying safe in the southern Midwest? Staying away from that tornadic activity? Those extreme weather events? Oh. Okay. Well, what if we plant a tree? Might not be the best. No, it's not. Oh, it goes right next to a cactus. Oh, Wolfie! No. Oh, God. Got it. He's fine. Alright, not my best effort. But it did nicely go into an actual pool of water here, so that's geographically accurate. Oh, yeah, I should refill my water. From the water. Anybody else have anything going on this weekend that's hopefully better than emergency trips to the veterinarian office? Oh, does this go through, do you think? I don't think. No. Think you might be getting sick. Hello, friend. Played some tennis. I guess that's more ping pong of a sound effect, but table tennis. Tabled tennis. Why not pickleball.com? I fell in the water. Friends. Befriending. Befriendifying your friends. The unfriendening. Friend Simulator. Gotta be better than Toy Car Racer Shop Simulator. Whatever that was that we played. Oh, what a ripoff. Oh, it's like remote control cars. No, they're slot cars. You don't even get to drive them. You do use a remote to control a slot car. Not in that video game. You just put it on the track and say go. Yeah, and they have a weird mosquito instrument in their soundtrack. I'm genuinely curious how that sound ended up in the soundtrack, but not curious enough to actually like look into it. It's probably just some royalty-free music that they bought or didn't buy. Mosquitoes receive no trademark. Ooh, a crater. Ow! I just landed in the crater. I got so excited about this crater. I mean, not really picturesque. Dang it. I'll eat one of Wolfie's treats. I remember when we played, was it the Hunter? Or Hunter, or whatever it's called? With, who did we play that with? BOO and, was it with Pungence and Corrales? There was like a weird animal call whistle that just sounded like a mosquito, and I'm like, what are we trying to attract with this? Oh, dang it. Get out there, boat. Nope, not that far. That was a good video. That one I actually took time to like edit. Because we played for like 2 hours or 3 hours, but we didn't have 3 hours of content, so I had to really whittle it down. Oh, that's a boat. I almost did it. Buck, buck, buck. Yeah, I don't know that the lag speeds me up in the water. Like I can do the jumpy speedboat trick, but I think my rate of movement is still the same. It just looks weird. Oh, hi, Wolfie. Oh. Oh, that's bad. What if... Oh, he's gonna do it. Easy. Oh, Lord. Hey, 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 there we go. Nice. Strategery. Problem solving. Oh, might be wood. What you doing? Lie down. Okay. Keeping an eye on her. Oof. Ooh-wee. Here's one thing. I have transferred 44 SnowRunner live streams over to YouTube. I don't remember if they were all the ones where I was playing with Cone, or if it was a lot of the single player stuff I was doing too. At some point I stopped highlighting the SnowRunner VODs. But I'm wondering if I should just I should just make them all public on my YouTube channel at once, but not send them to the subscription feed. Because if the other VODs are any indication, when I do that, barely anybody watches them anyway. But by just making them public and having them in their own playlists, they'll exist archivally. Not that anybody uses the subscription feed anyway, I guess, too. I just think that's better than, like, scheduling each video for, like, every other day until June or whenever it would end up being. Yeah, I watched that video too from Technology Connections. I think he did kind of miss like, yeah, everybody's using the home page, which is the algorithm, and like to the point where they're lazy about it and that's all they use and they don't use the sub page. But also, it's worth remembering that YouTube forced that on us. The homepage used to be your subscription feed, where it would show in chronological order and even categorized by channel all the new videos of whatever channels you're following or subscribed to. Then YouTube made the homepage, which wasn't that. But there was still an option to like make your sub page, like your when you click on YouTube or just go to youtube.com show up, but then they got rid of that even. And no matter what, when you go to YouTube, it defaults to the home page. So yeah, I don't think we can blame it all, and I don't know that that's even what he was doing, on the users being lazy. More so than that's what the platform has taught. Especially like, okay, 14 years ago, when we joined YouTube, we got used to the things that were available to us then. The young whippersnappers who are just starting to use YouTube in the past 8-10 years, that's all they know is the homepage. They don't remember. They might not even subscribe to channels. So yeah, it's a lot of. I'm sure Google and Facebook have spent many millions of dollars for social engineering studies and projects, and I mean that's one of the reasons I left Facebook, is that they got rid of a chronological feed, and now as like a Farlands or bus page or a business page, they stopped showing your stuff to the people who explicitly wanted to follow your stuff, and then they instead were like, we showed 50 people your posts. If you pay us, we'll show 800 more who already have tried to follow you, but we're not going to show you your stuff unless you pay us. Or we'll shuffle it far down the page under people who have paid us. So yeah, it is a shame. And then there's just platforms that are, that's all that they are, is algorithm. Your TikToks. And now everybody else picks up on that. All the other platforms. I've never tried Mastodon. And again, I'm of the camp, which may or may not be a camp of one, who's kind of like, do we need a Twitter replacement? So I'm not really looking. I set up a Blue Sky and have a Blue Sky, but I don't really post there. I'll check it every now and again. Yeah, Mastodon seemed, Blue Sky was like easy and familiar. Mastodon seemed too, and I'm sure I could figure it out, but too complex to care. Yeah, I'm not tied to Blue Sky. And yeah, I'll say often I do check Blue Sky on the For You page which is their algorithm, not so algorithm. Just because I don't follow enough people that my normal feed is just kind of like 5 posts a day. So it's like... It's wild to me that people went to Threads. Like, of all the choices. The Facebook one? Really? In general, I'm all about spending less time on social media. Yes, it's just a problem because it integrated its way into our social, political, economic news gathering and disseminating infrastructure. The genie is hard to put back in the bottle. Last E3 was 6 years ago. Feel old yet? I didn't miss it. I didn't miss any of them. I feel old for different reasons. My in-game Minecraft dog is older than my real-life dog, who's a senior dog. Then you don't really know how old Juno is. True. They could be the same age, I suppose. I didn't trust this. I thought it was lava. Oh. That would be... Oh, well, I guess it goes down into a cave. I was going to say, that would be an interesting hidey hole. Except I couldn't put any torches down because the ice would melt. So never mind, that would be not a very interesting hidey hole. Beep bop, beep bop, beep bop. Do I have any? Okay. The J stands for job. Jorb. I think we need to remember that the Minecraft movie seems very much intended for elementary school-aged children. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was a personal shock to me going to the first Minecon, having only like worked with and known about people like myself and my age who were into making Minecraft videos on YouTube, to suddenly be surrounded by 7, 8, 12, 13-year-olds wanting autographs. Being like, oh, so this is the audience. Oh, that could have been bad. Careful where you aim that thing. I mean, that's fine, I guess, but I really don't want to do that. I mean, that was pretty funny. That at least that line that's in the trailer that may or may not actually end up in the full movie. But as a child, I yearned for the mines. At least they've seen some of the Minecraft memes. Oh my god, what's happening? The girlfriend wants to see it, only to try to find out if they make a Farlands reference. But maybe we'll wait to rent it instead of going to the theater. Unless they want to pay me to go to the theater and promote this new Paramount feature film. No. All right, let's go to sleep and bag up the world. Set up an autograph table outside, just without the theater's permission. $74,615.69 nice megabytes. Very nice. Welcome back, Farlanders. Fancy seeing you here, as if you never left. Because it's segment number 2. The populace demanded more Farlands or bust on this Sunday, March 16th. So what am I to deny? What am I to deny? Bill Nye? Let's continue west. We were just having a nice conversation. Just chatting, as Twitch likes to say. So I assure you, now that we've like started walking to the Farlands and like actually doing gameplay, we have nothing to talk about. we have no words to pass betwixt us. Oh! No words. What were we talking about? Dang it, I knew it. Ooh, that was a good one. Murder. Shoe sizes. Yeah, well, shoe sizes and like the fact that like I've been lugging around a beginner acoustic guitar from Illinois to Arizona to up here in Washington State without ever having actually like sat down and like played it. But it's like a barnacle on a whale. That's exactly what it's like. I can't imagine how anything could be more similar. Sit it next to you. Looming. I should introduce it to my trombone. I mean, honestly, they should be well acquainted. They're both in the same closet down here. The beginner unused musical instrument closet. I made more music with Mr. Randomizer than I ever did with an actual musical instrument. Remember that time I was trying to figure out hobbies? I'm like, I would like a synthesizer. Fool. Ooh. Ooh, that came out of nowhere. From hobbies to jobbies. Yeah, that might be what it turns out to being. I don't need hobbies. I just need activities that I get paid for. I mean, that's what video games has become. Oh. Can't see it, it doesn't exist. I'm playing the guitar right now. But yeah, I mean, then we were talking about how, oh, why don't you try to sell it or sell anything? And it's just like that becomes a job in and of itself that doesn't pay. Jam session. I mean, I also have my old telescope that I put up for sale that I got like one reply on and then never again. Tell us more about those taxes. Why are you so interested in my taxes? Are you trying to steal my identity? Stop stargazing? Yes. I mean, it was in Illinois that I was part of an astronomy club. And then Arizona was its own... would have been the ideal place, but there was a lot of life stuff happening for Kurt J. Mac over there. And then here, it's just... not... great. It's not great weather for seeing for telescopes in the Pacific Northwest. You'll be surprised to learn. The recent XKCD lists which planets Randall Monroe has seen. Which ones have I seen? Well, I've seen Mercury. I think most recently as a transit, but Venus I've seen, obviously. Earth I've seen. Mars, obviously. I've seen Vesta also, I think. I'm pretty sure I did.
Glory to you and your house.
Ike Boy, tier 3. 3 times the flavor and the fun. For 11 months in the subtub. Thank you very much. Subtub. Yeah, Vesta is one of those, like, what's Pluto called? Like a protoplanetary planet? What is it? Yeah, it's a, it's in the asteroid belt. That's the word. Dwarf planet. Yes, thank you. Because it's like circular. Spherical. No, not Kuiper belt. You can't see anything out there. So yeah, I've seen that. I'm pretty sure it looks just like a star, but like at the time with the star charts, I think I was able to see it. Jupiter, Saturn. Again, I think I saw Uranus. Actually, I'm positive I did. It was either Uranus or Neptune. Again, it was like another thing where you gotta like really look at a star chart, but you could tell it was like blue. I can't remember specifically though. It could have been both at different times, Neptune. And I'm not sure if I've seen Pluto. I might have tried to see Pluto. But yeah, you can like see them all with a telescope. It's just that anything beyond Saturn looks like just another star that you just have to know where it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to. I don't know if I've seen Pluto. I don't know that Pluto is very easily seen. But I don't think I've seen Pluto. I'll take that back. It's the Isle of Sheeps. Yeah, I was able. I mean, that's what got me into it with my cheap department store telescope. I got to see the moons of Jupiter for the first time and was pretty blown away, so that's when I started getting into, like, real telescopes. I mean, that's another thing I gave away instead of selling, was I had a big 8-inch Dobsonian, which I honestly should have kept, but moving that across the country would probably break it. But that I donated to my old astronomy club back in Illinois when I moved. The rings of planets other than Saturn. No, you can't see the rings of other planets through a telescope. That isn't like Hubble or something like that. You recommend dual or single lens? I don't know what that means. in reference to a telescope. You mean binoculars versus telescope? Some has lenses in both ends, some don't. I don't know. You might be confused. Yeah, the first main choice is refractor versus reflector. You want one that is just lenses, i.e. glass. Your classic look through the tube at a thing. That's a refractor. Those are good for planets, because they make a sharp image, because there's nothing obstructing the middle of their view. But they tend to be smaller as far as their light collecting power is, because the bigger they get, the longer they get, and the heavier they get. And yes, they do have multiple elements. The reflector, you gotta then narrow down what type of reflector, because there's a bunch of different types, but that one has a mirror instead of a lens or glass. And the most basic, simple, and probably cheapest type is the Dobsonian, which just has a big mirror on the back, then it bounces up to a little central mirror and then into the eyepiece. That's what I had. Those you can get bigger for cheaper because it's just the one mirror. But again, the bigger, the heavier, and the more cumbersome. I had an 8-inch, and that was pretty good. But even that, it was tough to, like, it wasn't a grab-and-go scope. It barely fit in the trunk of my Cavalier. The downsides of those is that they're good for darker objects, like nebulas and galaxies and things, just because they have better light gathering power. They're good for planets too, but maybe not as sharp as a refractor. When you talk about the size of a telescope, it's the diameter of either the lens or the mirror. Not necessarily the length of the tube. They also, because it is a mirror, it can get shifted around, so you generally have to collimate them a little bit frequent, especially if you move them around and they get bumped around. Which after a while you get used to and good at, but at first that could be off-putting and annoying. I mean, they also don't make reflectors small. But then there's also, like, Cassegrains, which combine a lens and a mirror, and it bounces back like 2 or 3 times, and you look through the back of that one, but those are extremely heavy. I did have a 6-inch Mac Cassegrain, which is a little bit more rare, which is even heavier because it has even heavier, bigger lenses at the front. And then, yeah, when you get into the Dobsonian is easy because it comes with its own mount. But when you buy a telescope, you got to think about what type of mount do you want? Just the one that goes up, down, left to right? Or one that is equatorial that's more complicated? You got to make sure your mount and your tripod can carry the weight of your telescope. But if you do have a bigger telescope, weight becomes an issue. You can get a computerized mount. I would like a Ricci Sheraton Cassegrain. There are some companies that make that, but those are mainly good for photography. Those aren't that great for visual observation. True, there is the chromatic aberration of refractors, but then if you're looking at a refractor, you either get the apochromatic or the achromatic, what's known as an ED, which are more expensive because they have different coatings and more lenses that try to minimize the aberration, the purple fringe and distortions. And those can get extremely expensive. So yeah. Do I have all of this knowledge and am I not using it? Correct. Yes, that is how we do. My problem is that the telescope that I have is an 80 millimeter. And that's on the small size for a refractor. Smallish size. But it's still pretty heavy, and it's too heavy-ish for the mount that I have. I just have a simple up, down, left, right mount. And I can't, I've tried to, but I can't rationalize being like, okay, I'll get like an equatorial mount. And maybe, you know, maybe that'll be, but like a mount is like another $1,000. It's more than the telescope in a lot of cases. Or I just get a smaller telescope. That's easier to just pop out and it's not too heavy. That's why I was trying to sell my telescope. But nobody wants to buy it. I certainly am not going to get what I paid for it. I bought it used, too. And then there's solar telescopes, hydrogen alpha filter telescopes, which I always thought would be cool. But those are a whole sort of extra expensive. Although, you know what? I should have looked on the used market after the solar eclipse. That's when everybody who bought them for the eclipse would end up selling them. You would think. And if you want to get into photography, astrophotography, that's a whole other can of noodles that I don't even want to get into. Does the usefulness of an equatorial mount depend on the latitude? No. I mean, it should work for almost every latitude. I mean, unless you're like on the North Pole or South Pole. Or like the equator. It's just then unless you leave your mount and telescope set up in a particular spot all the time, every time you put it out, you'll have to align it to the North Star. And if it's a computer one, you'll have to, like, calibrate it. Point it to different objects so that it learns where it's at. There are some of these smart telescopes now. I'm interested. But I'm also a little bit... I don't know, I don't trust them. Because you can't look through them, and they just take pictures on your phone. And I'm sure we would have heard of it by now, but I almost feel like, are they like
Let me sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
overlaying?
Try using a sextant.
Ah, sextant is a word. Yeah, like there is enhancement, so I'm like wondering, am I getting an image that like my camera actually took, or is it like incorporating like pre-existing images to enhance them? Yeah, Avalanche, that's one of those. That's one of them that does that. And it might just be cool. Like Justin, HC Justin a while ago, like posted a picture. He was like, he took a picture of the night sky with just his iPhone, like sky mode or whatever. He's like, dang, I really want to get into telescopes. I'm like, if that's all you want to do is take pretty pictures, you should look at these things. And yeah, those things, I don't know that any are actually good at planetary imaging. It's all going to be deep sky, dark sky stuff, because it just stacks the image. It sucks for plants. Don't forget to water your plants. Yeah, I do kind of like planets because they like actually change. It's fun, the deep sky stuff, to like hunt it down and like use star charts, and it's always like satisfying when you're like, haha, I found it. But more often than not, it's like, where is this thing? I followed all these stars, I think. Is that the star? I don't know. Is it next to this one? Am I going the right way? Intergalactic planetary. What I like, the old astronomy club I belonged to had... well, they had a couple observatories, but one of them was of course, it helps to have a gigantic telescope in a room where the roof rolls off. But they had it set up to a video CCD camera, so it would do like, I don't know if it did live stacking. I think it did like live stacking, but it only like could output to like a CRT monitor. And you could like adjust the stacking and the gain and the frame. So it was like live images of very difficult to see stuff from like the light polluted suburbs of like spiral galaxies and nebulas and very faint stuff. And it was live because every once in a while a satellite would pass through the field of view, and I thought that was really neat. Extremely expensive, I'm sure, but it was really neat. And that's what, like, if I did ever want to get one of those smart telescopes, I don't think they do. Much like my bird camera, my bird feeder bird camera. I wish I would be able to just, like, live stream the feed, the Twitch. But I can't do that with my bird camera, and I'm assuming you can't do that with the smart telescopes, because they're all tied down to their apps. Or maybe you can, I don't know, but I've seen conflicting information about that sort of thing. You can do that stuff with, like, store-bought astronomy cameras and CCD imagers, because they act as if they're like webcams. But then that would require getting a motorized tracking mount. And all sorts of power supplies and hardware and software to make it work. You can broadcast your phone screen to Twitch. I mean, I know some of them have, like, ways that, like, you can share to, like, other people's phones. Like, if you're all gathered around the telescope, like, at a star party or whatever. But I doubt that that means that that's just, like, the raw feed that you can work with and share or tap into. I mean, on a couple of those, I saw that you can even use them during the daytime for, like, beard watching. Spying on people. Spying on whales in the Puget Sound. That would also be neat. That's a hobby I do enjoy, since I got my eBay zoom lens for my Canon camera. I don't know. I don't know, everybody. Don't even know how we got on this. But we did. There's no stops on this train ride. You're all trapped in here with me. Claimed you had nothing to talk about. Yeah, I mean, part of me also has to realize that, like, I don't want to talk about stuff that I know I've already talked about many times in flobs past. But it's been 14 years. I'm going to assume perhaps many of you not heard a lot of these things from me, or have, but it's been so long that you don't care that you hear it again. Or you're just desperate for any sort of content that isn't the daily and hourly barrage of the ongoing horrors and crimes and travesties befalling our society. You know. I've missed a flobber 70.
Thanks for letting me sit in.
Ain't nothing to it.
Yes, this is a pleasant reprieve from.
A pleasant reprieve from... Oh. Can I get a push, Wolfie? Oh, he was gonna do it. Oh, he just like breathed on me and I set sail. May have been a spawner down there. I heard flowing water at the bottom of the ocean. Weird. It's yeah, it's kind of weird. That I don't know. I guess I should consider Sundays. Consider Sundays as a good day to stream. Here, J Mac. $14. I'm finally whittling down and settling on a schedule. Excuse me. Kind of looks like the last F3 lake that we split in twain, entwixt, upon which we remove the water from the bottom of the lake. Is there an old internet platform or a challenge or game that you really miss that you'd want to make a comeback? I mean, I liked when stuff like Line Rider would come out of nowhere and, like, be the cat's pajamas for everybody. That was a nice, innocent time. I mean, I guess I first saw that on... I think it was first on... I don't know if it was first on DeviantArt, but I found it first on DeviantArt. Which I know is not a place to be anymore. I like DeviantArt. I posted quite a bit on there. Did a lot of weird digital art stuff and car Astrophotography. What's your username? Well, I don't think my old account exists anymore. I made one when I started Farlands or Bust because we had this very conversation before. That I was really big on DeviantArt. I wasn't really big on DeviantArt, but I was in like a little... I feel like, aside from MySpace, which I only really used with like actual friends, that was perhaps maybe the first social media site that I used where I like met internet people. Yeah, I never did GeoCities or... What was the other one? Some sort of Pokemon one or something, I don't remember. There was like another one that everybody... I think I was too old for. Whoops, I tab out! No, it was like anime. Anime-y. It felt anime-y. No, it wasn't Pokemon. No, I mean like in the yonder days of the internet. The early aughts. Yeah, you had your GeoCities. You had your Tumblrs. Tumblrs was later. But the younger generation always goes on about something else. Gosh, I don't remember. It might just be the people I knew. No. I don't know. All of us might either be too old or too young to know it either. Not Second Life. It was like a forum. It was like a forum setup. Or like a make your own website. Kind of like a GeoCities. Maybe I'm thinking it's more popular than it actually was, just because I've heard people talk about it more than once, you know? Not Newgrounds, although I kind of remember Newgrounds. But that's kind of the place where you would find stuff like Line Writer, World of Sand, or whatever it was called. No, I never used it, so I don't remember what this one that I'm trying to think of that I can't think of. Otaku? I don't know. Was that a place? That's just a word. Angel Fire. I think it's Angel Fire. You might... I think that's the one. Oh, Wolfie, you just took some damage there, you dingus. Yeah, I feel like it was more of a GeoCities than a Tumblr or anything. Yeah, it might have been very specific. And it might have just been the women that I know. It seems like I don't feel like a lot of guys would be using a website called Angel Fire. based on their own prejudices. Webkins. I think I've heard of Webkins too. But I don't know that that was the one I was thinking of. Women do be making Angel Fire websites. Yeah, I don't know. And I know there was like Rooster Teeth. Was kind of a first community for a lot of people. Yeah, I thought DeviantArt was alright. Emphasis on the was. Yeah, I guess Something Awful was like even earlier. I was never into that. Apparently that's where Let's Plays got started. Did you know that? I got told that thousands of times. 14 years ago when I started making YouTube Let's Plays. Yeah, I personally don't like the term social media. Social media is a phrase made up by people trying to categorize what it is. To me, they're always just websites. Because whatever tended to happen or be posted or whatever on the website really never left the website. Like, Twitter, when it was good, was just a website. Of course, now everything has an app. So it's got to be its own ecosystem and thing. I mean, that, again, speaking of things I've said 1,000 times, Google got a Google, but back when, like, Facebook was rocketing off and Twitter was kind of just starting and every big tech company wanted their own social media website, and Google was like, we want in on that cash. Instead of realizing they already had a social media website called youtube.com, where everybody had a profile page and could leave comments on each other's pages. And they could post videos, no matter who they were. And on top of which, they had already figured out the one thing that none of the other social media companies could figure out at the time was how to monetize. It was already monetized. So what Google did was like, we want a social media site. So they made Google Plus and then destroyed YouTube by injecting Google Plus into it. Forcing Google Plus into it. You dumb, stupid idiots. And then it died and took anything good from that once existed on YouTube with it. What was the other? Google did something too, where like, I forgot what it was called, but like suddenly everybody could read your emails or something like that. Was it Circles? Yeah. I remember, like, it came out, and I just, like... Actually, my sister contacted me, so I can't even be blamed for this. I was like, huh, what's this? This is kind of weird, huh? Yeah, it is. And then suddenly, like, somebody she worked with, who, like, she had no, like, actual personal friendship or interaction with, chimed in. And we're like, what the hell are you doing? Who are you? And why are you in our chat? And then they shut it down 3 days later or something. Dumb. So dumb and stupid. But Google did, you know, they said if everybody has to start using their real names on their Google Plus and their YouTube accounts, that would solve the problem of harassment and spam. And boy, ever did they do that. And we laughed and we laughed. I do not remember Google Wave. I mean, you could say that you could just insert any word after the word Google, and more chances than not, it is or was a real product that existed that was shut down by Google. Remember Google Submarine? Remember Google Butter Dish? Google Chestnut was wild. So many security flaws. I remember ThinkGeek. I remember Woot. Woot.com before Amazon bought it. Definitely spent too much time on Woot.com. I get that bag of crap. I did get a bag of crap once. And that's how I got my Zune. And then I sold it on eBay. Successfully somehow. Giveaway. Remember, Farlands or bust. Both podcast and YouTube edition. Can't remember if I ever bought anything on ThinkGeek. Probably, but probably something like not symbolically ThinkGeeky, you know, like a USB port or something like that. That you it didn't matter where you got it. I don't remember stumble upon. I remember before Twitter could take your images. The hell were they called? I forgot what even they were called. TwitPic. Remember TwitPic? And there were other ones that I can't remember. I think I used TwitPic. And then it would like actually create like a Instagram-ish archive and album of all the images you uploaded. And then they all disappeared one day. And now those images are training AI models. Without our permission. I'm gonna miss you all when Twitch disappears. What is today? Sunday? Oh, I don't have a axe anymore. Thank you, Wolfie. That's why I think it's good you're going back to work part-time. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not... Oh, perfect. Anything I can live off of by itself, if that's what you're saying, but in the long run, it's nice. It's a resume builder. Hopefully Wolfie won't spawn up here and send us both to our doom. Yeah, it's mostly because it's kind of a perfect situation. If it wasn't somewhere that the girlfriend works that's able to get me in for the help they need in a low pressure chill environment with no great obligations or stuff like that, I don't think I would be getting a part-time job. That's just the truth. The girlfriend is now your boss. Kind of? I not really. She's not like a manager, but she is like their lead. And that's fine. That is what I would enjoy. Somebody just do this task needs done. This is how you do it, go do it. Okay. Minimum wage, baby. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. I'll have news stories. And things to talk about. And then you'll hear the girlfriend's side. Yeah, when she gets home, you'll hear the real story. Boy, we've got this new employee. I won't name names. Woo. He's a real pain in the Mac. Ah, that one got me. Well done. Ooh, excuse me again. Oh gosh. Yeah, I did not sleep well last night. Does this version support multiplayer? Yes, but it like you just have to like enter in the IP. Like there's no multiplayer browser or like saving of a list or anything. A little bird told me that not that much further into the Farlands is when another spawn chunk, like the spawn chunk is supposed to be with like the tower I've been building on it. I don't know. Maybe when we get there we venture in. The only problem is Wolfie. I don't know. Even if we go to like the top of the Farlands, there's still gaps. This is back on that center line. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's not like what you like to see. That's not good. Wolfie, where do you think you're going, you dingus? Okay, what if we just build into the side of this? It's not our usual configuration, but I'm out of options. Where goes this torch? Blocks. Place blocks. Which way are we going here? There we go. I'm gonna make the hidey hole, the interior design, the same. Right? Yeah, because we go that way. Yeah, but yeah, okay. It's a split level design. Oh. Oh. Beds. Boats. Indeed. What a rousing segment of Farlands or Bust this has been. Roused? Are you not roused? Wolfie is. Let's go to sleep and back up the world. I just gotta remember I gotta leave out the corner, not out the front. 74,687.39 megabytes. A very memorable number. Very memorable. We had this very conversation before.